Hello, welcome back to another Tabletop Talk. I thought I would do an update, channel update, kind of giving a heads up a little bit about what's going on. I don't know if I've mentioned this or not, but the last 6 months I've been off work for different circumstances, and so had a lot of time to do some playing and videotaping and YouTubing and things like that. Enjoyed it very much. Played a ton. I'm getting back to work now, and so life is getting in the way. Things will be slowing down a bit, offline and online. I will obviously keep doing what I'm able to do, time permitting, especially starting out. Things are a bit... anytime you start something new, a new job, you have lots to learn and things like that. So it will be a little slower. And then hopefully once I get into a routine, things will, be a little bit better, but obviously not like it was when I was off all the time. So got a little taste of what retirement might be like. So I would say I'm a fan of it, but unfortunately, that's not going to be able to continue at this point. I do have a fun unboxing coming up once it arrives. It may be a while, but so that's something fun to look forward to and to delve into that. So even though I have had a lot of time to play and have played a lot of different things, I didn't finish anything, and so that's been kind of bugging me. I did chat with Tebow about finishing things, and so that's one thing in my gaming that I would like to improve, is to get some things completed. I got a ton of things in process, some further along than others, but unfortunately, it's been, probably the 90s. I think the last thing I completed was in the 90s, I did a 1953 Milwaukee Braves replay with Diamond Mine Baseball. And so that's the last thing I can remember completing, even something small. So what I thought I would do, been playing a lot of Stratomatic lately, and Stratomatic hockey, and enjoying it very much. So I thought what I would do is try to do something that's doable, and maybe I could get something completed. It might be good for my mental health to get something done. So I thought I would redo last year's Boston Bruins Florida Panthers playoff. I know the Bruins had a super year that year, and again, I'm not a huge hockey guy. Didn't follow that a lot at the time. I do remember hearing that they were playing well. And then I know they got knocked out in the first round by the Panthers after being ahead 3-1, if I remember, if my information is correct. So I thought it would be fun to replay that series and see if Boston could do better. I do know that there was some players who were out for both teams, I think. So what I'm doing is just using the lineups that Strat-O-Matic supply with the roster sheets. One good thing about Stratomatic Sports is that the way they card is at least one good thing about it in this scenario is that they card how the players in the year. So usually if there's a player who played on 2 or 3 different teams, they will be carded for whoever they finished with. And obviously playoff time is the end of the year, so everybody should be carded pretty close to where they were. And again, I'm going to use the recommended lineup, so whoever was injured in the playoffs will be playing in this. The goalies, I did know that Bobrovsky, I think was the Florida, he didn't play at first. I don't know if he was hurt or he was being benched for not playing well, or broke curfew or what, I don't know. But at any rate, how I do it is they have a start percentage, and I have a 100-sided die it's on my phone. So I use that to determine who starts in goal. So that's what I will do for this. So again, go with the lines that Strat provide and everybody's healthy, and then go with the goalies based on the role of their start percentage. So, and then if the Bruins do win that, then maybe move on to the next round. I know Florida made it all the way to the finals and got beat by Vegas, I believe. And so I could follow that path, and that would might be fun. But at least before I get real busy into work, I wanted to try to get something done. just the sad that I have. I'm still kind of experimenting with different games, different ways of playing, and so I'm still trying to settle into kind of a rhythm of what I like to play when I have the time. And so that is one advantage of having all this time off. And the last couple years is that I've been able to really experiment with different games, different sports, different ways to play them, watching YouTube videos of other people doing things. And so as a result, I'm starting to fine-tune my playing preferences, the games, and how and when and why and all that kind of thing. So I'm really getting, there seems to be 3 or 4 games that keep surfacing that I keep going back to, and other ones that don't. Not that they're not great games. It's just, again, I find myself not playing them. Could be based on a lot of different things. It could be the sport that they're representing. It could be the seasons that I have available. It could be the game itself, how difficult it is, how much brain power I have to exert to play, how long it is for a project. So, again, still kind of working on that. So I'm giving myself permission not to finish anything, with the understanding that I am accomplishing something and trying to, again, figure out, how I want to play and what I want to play going forward. So, so there you go. I know people really enjoy the chats, and I do too. One thing about those chats that make them good, I believe, is that those are on topics that I am wanting to talk about. And so finding, people to talk about what I'm wanting to talk about, or having anything that I want to talk about, is kind of the challenge. So again, they're just not chats in general. It's just not, hey, I'm going to get on and talk, and that may be fine to do in the future. But right now, my chats are, something, a topic or an issue, something that interests me that I'm wanting to discuss with somebody else. And so I believe that's what makes them interesting, at least in part. And so just be aware that, I'll try to do what I can when I can. Again, finding something to talk about. And I'm sure going forward there'll be some. It's just because it's not just a general chat, just, hey, pick up the camera and the microphone and just talk to somebody. It's there's something that I'm interested in that I'm wanting to talk about with somebody, one of the other community guys. And so, just be aware that's kind of what those are. And again, I might end up just doing a chat, and those are fun too. I know I enjoy watching them, but again, what I'm doing right now is just, there's a topic I'm wanting to talk about. That's why I have the chat. And again, everybody I've talked to has been great, and the people I haven't talked to, it doesn't mean anything. It's just that the topic, I pick people based on they would be really good to talk about whatever it is I'm wanting to talk about. And so tons of really good people that are YouTube creators that would certainly be enjoyable to talk to. But again, that's kind of the dynamic going on behind that. And so again, for this year, we'll see. Hopefully, once I get into a rhythm, I'll be able to do like Tebow and whisper, not waking anybody up to get a game in before I go to work. Or, again, how it is when you start a new job. First off, that's that learning curve, and you kind of got to get into a rhythm. And then once you get into a rhythm, then you can kind of get back to doing the things that you really want to do. And so hopefully once I get into that rhythm, it'll, give me some time to do some, playing and recording and things like that. So anyway, we got that cool unboxing coming up. I think I'm gonna try to do I've never done a complete project on the channel, and either I play some offline or I don't finish it. And so all the projects that I've done, they're still on my to-do list. Just about everything that's been on the channel, I still have the stats and the files and everything for. If I'm keeping track on the computer with the stats, so they haven't gone away. And as you saw with the 1920 Chicago White Sox Stratomatic, I'll pull it back out and get back to it. So again, lots of things still there, still I want to work on. But before I get really into the weeds with this new job, I wanted to complete something, because that's the one thing I didn't do this 6 months that I would really like to, is to say, okay, I finished something. And so, again, because I'm really enjoying Stratomatic hockey right now, the 2022-23 set are on the really good card stock, which I know is weird, but nice cards make me want to play more. Cards that aren't that high quality make me want to play less. That may be weird, but that's where I'm at. So, I'll put all of those on the channel and see, at least have something from beginning to end that's not too involved, on the channel. We are in hockey season, and so hockey does lend itself, I think, more to series like this than baseball does. Baseball, I think you get a much better representation of the quality of the teams on season. So for me, I've never been a big fan of World Series. I like baseball season, so obviously a project like that takes a while and more difficult to complete. But and again, I'm not a hockey guy, so if you feel like that's not an accurate assessment, feel free to chime in on the comments and say so. I'd be very interested in opinions. But it feels like that you don't have pitchers per se. You have goalies, but that's a little different than pitching, I think. And I think a good quality team generally will show. Now, obviously, the Boston Bruins are an example of maybe where that wasn't the case. Again, I don't know how the injuries might have affected that. In Florida, they made it all the way to the final, so they didn't. They were 42, 32, and 8, so didn't have a super good season, but they weren't slackers. But and maybe they were healthier at the end. Again, I feel much better about a series in hockey than I do in baseball. And football's the same way. Again, you can get anything can happen on a game, but still, you play a game, it gives you a pretty good representation of the teams most of the time. And again, anything can happen in real life and with the dice. They can be, again, that's why we play them, so anything can happen. So again, much more, I know somebody made a comment that when they get a hockey season, what they do is that they replay the playoffs. I know in hockey, probably close to 50%, if not 50% of the teams make the playoffs. So again, I've heard people say that the season is basically warm up for the playoffs, and obviously baseball's not like that. They not as much as they used to, but they put a lot of stock in the season, and so. And not as much as I think they should. But hockey, again, half the teams are in the playoffs, and that's a much shorter thing. So, that may be, again, I'm just fleshing out the hockey right now. Again, really enjoying Strat. I think it's a great game. I've played, a couple other ones, and they're okay. They're good, but for some reason I find myself going back to Strat. It seems to really, it keeps me interested, and I don't feel like I'm waiting for the game to be over. It's just, and again, who knows if that'll change. But at any rate, we'll try that Boston Bruins, Florida Panthers series, and we'll try to get that done. And at least here in my time off, I can say I got something completed, even though I feel like I did accomplish a lot. Again, just trying to figure out what I want to play and how I want to play it, the games that I really want to play when I have the time, what I want to pull out, and, so again, it's not been a waste of time. Getting an opportunity to try different games has been a lot of fun and enjoyable. But again, I'm still wanting to settle into that, where I'm getting some projects done and doing some quality playing time. So at any rate, I know that the unboxing coming up probably would speak that maybe that's not the case, but it is. But again, I wanted to add one more thing at least. So at any rate, just wanted to give you an update and a heads up, let you know that, I'll be a little distracted. Life is getting in the way for the next few weeks. And so I appreciate all the support, all the comments. This has been a fun couple years doing this, and hopefully, we'll be able to do some stuff going forward, even if it is a little bit diminished because of life. So anyway, I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you next time.